Hello there, welcome back once again to iXoft Originals official channel, and this is another edition of iXoft Screen Recorder HD Pro tutorial series we are working on. Before we get started, if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do well to subscribe so that you won't be missing any upcoming episode on this awesome Screen Recorder HD Pro. On our previous lesson, we saw how we could build all these interfaces in just no time. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to just jump right into the coding for this particular screen. But first of all, we would like to rename some buttons and some labels into some names. But if you have yet not subscribed to iXoft Original channel, do well to subscribe to this channel right now, which wouldn't take you even 5 seconds of your time doing that. Just click and subscribe and click on the notification bell icon to get notified anytime we upload an exciting video. Alright, so let's hop right into the video and let's get started. So first thing first, we need to rename some things up and we get going. So first thing first, let's get started with the renaming, right? So with this record guy, you'll see that the name for it is Guna Image Button 1. So just select everything and let's give it the name BTN Record. Right? So this is going to be BTN Record. So the same thing applies to this, mostly the rest of all. So BTN Stop. And this is going to be BTN, that is going to be either BTN hide or reveal, right? So we're going to say BTN preview, right? And this is going to be BTN full screen, and this is going to be BTN custom screen, custom size, sorry, BTN custom size. Good. And this is gonna be okay, let's go here because these we will be coding them later on. Let's work with the ones we're gonna code today. So with this, we just have to say that this is called let's call this hour because it's an hour, so we call this H1. So it's gonna be called, let's say, LBL for label H1, and let's call this LBL H2, right? And this is gonna be our minute, so LBL M1. I'll undo that, and this is gonna be called LBL M2, that is for minute 2. And this is gonna be called LBL S1, stands for seconds 1, and this is gonna be called LBL S2, right? So we have LBL S2, LBL S1, and then we have M2, M1, H2, and then H1. That is very, very good. So let's call this LBL rec status. So that is gonna identify whether it's recording or not. And let's call this guy BTN play. Then let's call this guy BTN delete, right? Let's call this BTN export. Let me give it a name. Good. And let's call this BTN YouTube. Alright guys, so let's see what you have to do. Okay, so all you have to do is just visit to my channel and then you just subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you won't be missing any upcoming episode. Just hit on the subscribe button, then you get everything done. If you want to learn more about After Effects, Photoshop, Maya, Premiere, Visual Studio, just come along, and it has a lot of videos, dozens of videos there. Good. So let's hop right into the video. This is gonna be our video layout, but we're gonna rename it when we are working on. This is gonna be our BTN. So just say BTN close, right? And this is gonna be our BTN minimize, right? This is gonna be BTN folder. This is gonna be BTN settings, and this is gonna be BTN info. Good. So with this, I think we are good to go, and we can start coding. Now let's see something. When we start our project, you will see that there will be some flicking issues with this. Let's see how it works. You see that there are some, flicking guy issues. It's gonna be, it flicked, right? So let's solve that flicking issue. First of all, let's go into the codes. So right click and then go to view codes. Here I would like to take a good look at the zoom section, so that you'll be getting the zoom quite well. So let's zoom this to 200, so that you'll be seeing what I'm doing clearly. Or let's say 150 is kind of cool. Yeah, so I love 150. First of all, I'm just gonna declare some statements. So let's declare a private sub. Let's call this solve underscore flicker, right? And that is gonna solve the codes we will be putting here is gonna solve the flicking issue for us. So it is very important for you to get this flicking done, else you will be facing a lot of challenges with this. So let's solve the flicker now. Hey, sorry for that. So we're gonna say that we're gonna use with statement. So we're gonna say that with, which is me. So me means this particular form, right? The form 1 is me, because actually we are working on this form. That is our form 1. So me means our form, our current form, which is form 1, right? So with me, if we were supposed to work on form 2, we will just say form 2, right? But we are working on this same current form, so we're just gonna say that me, and we're gonna set so just say dot set style. So we're just gonna set the style into a control style, right? We're just gonna set the style into a control style dot optimized double buffer, right? And in this double buffer, we're just gonna say true, right? Good. And then we're just gonna set the style again to control styles dot user paint, right? The user paint, and that is also going to be true. And we have to set the style of the all paints, right? So that is going to be the control style. How is this guy anyway? Okay, dot all paint blah 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 equals to true. So with this, we will just have the opportunity to work with that. Good. So we have this here. Now after that, let's try to update the flicker, right? So we just have to say that dot update. Let's update the style. So we just have to say dot update style, and then I think so far so good. That is what we have to work on, and I believe that is okay. Don't forget to save your projects. So we will just have to go inside here, select the form event, then let's go to the loading event. So anytime this project loads, we want it to solve our flicker for us, right? So you just do that like that. So instead of typing all these codes here, you just declared a private sub here, and this class, or let's say this private sub, is gonna solve the flicker for you. So let's try it once again and let's see. So now you can see that it just solved that flicker for us, but let's try to get it going so that it's gonna be awesome. When you look at the previous one, you could see that it has some fading effect, right? It has some opacity or fading effect, right? So I would like to load that project, and let's see how the fading effect works. So when you take a good look at it, the loading effect, you will then see that I just wanna view the codes so that we see the loading effect. Okay, so I have a dozens of codes here. Don't worry, we're gonna be thinking through all of them. So you can see that I have the flicker being solved here, and I have some opacity guys here. So let's work with the opacity so that we get everything done. So with this, we just have to say that we just have to work on the opacity, right? So first of all, when the form loads, we just have to say that me.opacity should be, the opacity should be equals to 0.99, right? And what we are trying to say here is we are trying to tell the system that whenever it starts, the opacity of it should tend to 0.99, right? Okay, so let's continue from there. So let's say that let's use for, let's say for I count equals to 10 to 100, then we step plus 10, right? And with this we just have to say me dot opacity equals to I count divided by 100, right? And we're just gonna say me dot refresh, right? And after that, we just gonna say that threading dot thread dot sleep, just like that. And we just have to set a value for that. That is going to be 5. So let's try this out and let's see. So you're just gonna see that it just did the magic, right? So let's test that one again and let's see. So you're just gonna see that it just faded in, and that is one awesome thing to do. Good. Now let's see one more thing. Daniel Mebo, let's see one more thing. For every button, let's try to change the icons, the cursor icons to a symbol, right? So just hold Control to select everything, then let's go to the cursor and then let's say hand. So this is gonna help us anytime we place a cursor on any of this. Is gonna represent the hand symbol, as you can see from here. That is awesome. And these guys, you can indeed in fact work with a hover size, right? So instead of 66, we just have to say that 45, right? Sorry, let's copy this. Oh, come on, what have I done so far? Okay, so with this, we just have to paste this here. That is the 45. So let's say 45, and we just have to copy this so that we won't be typing all of them again. Undo that. What have I done anyway? Okay, so I have to okay, so let's come here, let's paste it once again. Oh, come on, I've done this mistake again. Let's undo that. Good. So let's say 45, and we have to just copy this. Then we come here, and from this section it is 45. Let's see this, and we just have to paste. Oh, come on, this guy is messing up with me. So just say 45. Let's see this as well. So that's going to be 45. Good. So with this, save your project and let's start it once again, and let's see how it's going to look. So you can see that it's now being responsive, and this is very huge, but this is quite okay with that. So let's work with this one too. Let's see the size. That is let's make it 35. So we add 5 value to each of the buttons. So we're just gonna say 35, 35, and this too we're just gonna say 35 comma 35, right? We do the same thing applies to this 35 comma 35. Good. So save your project and let's try it out once again and let's see. So we have this ninth fading animation, and as you can see, still the 35 is not even up to what we are expecting. So then we have to work along with it. That is pressed. You can take your time to work with that, but I like this how to leave it like this. So let's go to the close guy. Now with this close guy, anytime we click on this close, we want it to pop up a message asking us do we want to close this particular project, and if we try to say yes, that is gonna close the whole system for us. So first thing first, I have to declare some statements. So let's say declare close as strange, right? So let's declare close as strange, and this strange is equals to a message box dot show, right? And this message box is going to show that do you want to close this software, right? Just like that. And after this, we just have to pop up a message box style, or let's say a confirmation message. So we're just gonna say confirm, right? So, or let's say we're just gonna say confirmation. Now with this confirmation, let's use a comma to separate this, and we're just gonna say with this confirmation we're just gonna add a message box button style, right? So we're just gonna add a message box button which is yes or no. So it's gonna just display either yes or no for you. And this message box icon, right, our message box icon is gonna be a question, right? So it's just gonna pop up this message for us, right? So we declared we can do it this way, so that I just gonna, let's use underscore, right? Really, I think we have to use underscore here. That is gonna solve the problem. By the way, I think we should, okay, so we declared close as strange and message box into what we want to say, and the heading for the message box, and we created a message button which is either yes or no, and we declared a question box icon. So with this code, I would like to let's say this is going to be 130 so that you can see everything clearly. So yeah, so let's try this out and let's see something what I mean. So you can see that this is it. When I click on this, we now have this confirm, and you can see that the confirmation is that guy confirmation, either yes or no, right? Good. Now let's give it out a code so that it's just gonna close the whole thing, right? It's just gonna close the whole thing. So here we just have to use if statement. So we're just gonna say that if our close message equals to yes, right? If our close message equals to VB yes, that means the person wants to close the software. Then we will say that application dot exit, right? And we will then say that next or else, sorry, if the person didn't click on the close button, we will just say do nothing, right? So let's see something here. So we have this. When I click on no, it won't do anything, but when I click on yes, it's gonna close the whole thing. But you see that we have some animation for the loading, right, which is the fading effect. So we have to add the same fading effect for the close, right? So let's come after this application dot exit. Let's declare some let's write some codes out down here. So let's say if I count equals to 10, right, to 100, and it steps plus 10, then we're just gonna say that me dot opacity, right, equals to I count, right, equals to I count divided by 100, just like that. And then we're gonna refresh ourselves, right? And after that we're gonna use threading, and it's gonna thread to sleep, right? And we're gonna set a value for the sleep, which is 5. And with this, I believe this is gonna work for us. So let's start it once again and let's see how it works. So we have this nice fading animation, and when we are closing, you see that it just pops up right back again. So then if you wanna get that done, we just have to say that instead of this to be 10, we just have to set this to 90, and then we set this to 10, sorry for that, and we set this to minus. So that is gonna deduct from this system. And let's set the sleeping to 30 for now. Indeed, in fact, you can take a good look at whatever you are doing so that you'll be getting everything right on point. So let's close it out and see. Now we have a nice animation. That is very, very good of it. Now let's see something. This BTN, let's work with a minimize guy as well. So with this minimize, we're gonna say that me dot Windows state equals to Windows form dot minimize. So that is what we have to do for the minimize, and it's gonna work absolutely perfect. So we minimize, and it's here. We can maximize, and we can close our guy. So yeah, that is it. For the minimize as well, we can do a lot of stuff with it, but I would like for us to go by step, so that it's gonna help us to achieve the aim we wanna get, and that is gonna be absolutely perfect, right? Good. So I believe this is quite awesome. Let's see, when we click on this record guy, we want this timer to start working, right? Good. So with that, let's add a timer. We're just gonna add a timer here, and this timer, I'm just gonna rename the timer. Let's rename the timer to let's call this counter. So this counter clock is gonna do the magic for us. It's gonna do the counting process for all the buttons, right? Now let me show you something here. I on my previous lesson, or on my previous project, when you go to my form 1, I have a clock here called clock, right? And on this clock I set the intervals to 1000, and I change the name to clock, and I set the enable to false. Now on this project, this counter is now replacing the clock, right? So we have to set the interval to 1000, and let's set the enable to false. So with this counter, all we have to say is, when we double click on this BTN click, we just have to say that counter dot start, right? So it's just gonna be like that, counter dot start. So anytime we click on this start, it's just gonna start whatever we type inside this counter. So let's go inside this counter, and we're gonna say that LBL S2, right, which is the second 2, dot value, which is dot text, equals to, so just gonna say that equals to value. Then we're gonna say that LBL S2 dot text, which is gonna be a +1. So that is gonna increase this label, which is LBL. So let's give it a renaming. Okay, so I believe you will be getting that. So it's gonna add up +1. So let's see, anytime the timer starts, it's just gonna add up +1 here. So let's click on record. You see, so it's now counting down. So let's see something. As soon as it reaches to 9, it will just continue 1, and then you can see that it is counting, and we don't want it to be like that. So what we have to say, that we have to do some restrictions to this guy. So now we have to add if statement. So we just have to say that if our lbls2.text is now turned to 9, right, then we have to say that our lbls1, which is the second one, .text should be equals to val, which is lbls1, right, +1, just like this. And that is going to be cool. And before we do that, we just have to say that our lbls2.text now should be equals to 0. So this is gonna do the magic for us. So it's just gonna do the magic for us. It's just gonna record that section for us. So let's take a good look at this and let's see. So it's now 8, 9. Okay, so I think we have to we have some error here. Oh, sorry for that. I didn't added the .text. That is the reason why I got this error. Sorry for that. Let's check this once again and let's see. So I have this record guy, and you can see that it is actually working, and that is awesome. 8, 9, you see. So now we have to say that it is working now, but we have to say that if the label.text equals to 10, right, so we just have to say 10, then it should tend to 0, right? So let's see that one as well. So record, and that is gonna count down. So I believe you've gotten what we've done so far. So now we have to keep on rolling. We have to keep the ball rolling. So we're just gonna say that else if lbl1 s1.text equals to so now we can see that 60 seconds makes 1 minute. So we're gonna say 6. Then we just have to say that lbl s1.text equals to 0, as we did for the previous one. Then we're gonna say that lbl m2, right? So we're just gonna say that m2 .text, right? So m2.text equals to val. Then we do the same thing, which is lbl m2.text, which should be a +1. So the same thing applies. So we're just gonna say else if lbl m1, right? Sure, we have to say that then m2 is gonna be this, right? Okay, I think I have to take a good look at the codes clearly. So if this lbl equals to 6, this is going to be 0, right? And this is the minute 2 equals to 1. So we will say that if minute 2, right, if minute 1, come on, okay, so if our minute 1.text equals to 6, right, then we have to say that our lbl min 1.text equals to 0. Then we have to set lbl um okay, I think I'm facing a lot of challenges here because I didn't rename them well. So let's do the renaming. Sorry for that. I'm very sorry. I apologize for that. So let's call this S1 instead. I don't know how to do this renaming. Let's call this S2A, and now let's remove the A from here to leave it as S1. Then let's remove the A. So this is gonna be M1A for now because this is already M1. So let's say M2A. Good. So now let's remove the A from them. Then let's say this is gonna be H1A, and this H1 is gonna be H2, so that I'll be getting everything on point. Yes, and I believe I love it. So that is the reason why I was facing a lot of challenges here. So first of all, let's clear all the text. Let's clear all the let's clear everything here, and let's start coding everything from scratch once again, so that you'll be getting everything all done. So all we have to say is lbl s1 dot text equals to val, which is lbl s1 dot text should be a +1, right? Then we say lbl s1 dot text equals to the number 9. So let's say 10 for now. Then we will say that our lbl s2 dot text equals to val, which is our lbl s2 dot text should also be a +1. So with this, sorry for that, we will use if statement here. So we're gonna say if this lbl is gonna be here, then we just have to end if. Good. So we have this here. Sorry for that. Good. So we will just say that if that is this, then we have to set the lbl s1 dot text equals to 0, right? Just like that. So here we're just gonna say else if lbl 2, right, s2 dot text equals to we have to go by 60 seconds, so 6. Then lbl s2 dot text equals to 0 as we did earlier on, and we're just gonna say lbl s2 lbl m1 dot text equals to val, which is lbl m1 dot text +1, just like that. And we're gonna say else if lbl m2 s2. So if lbl s2 turns to that is gonna return by lbl m1, right? So now we just have to say that if this lbl m1 turns to 9, right? So this lbl m1 turns to 9, this is going to be 10 to 1, right? Good. So let's come here and let's say that we said if this is going to be 10, then this is going to be this. Then we sorry for that. Then we said if this is going to be 6, then this is going to be 0. If this is going to be this, else okay, then we're gonna return the m2 if our m2 dot text, right, if our m2 dot text also equals to 6, because they all have 60 seconds 60 minutes in a row. So just gonna say if it is 6, then we're gonna return the m2 dot text should be 0. Good. Then we say that if the 2 is 0, then we're gonna return to our hour. So lbl h1 dot text equals to val, and the value is gonna be lbl h1 dot text should be plus 1. Then we say else if lbl, so we now have the minute which is returning to the hour, right? So if lbl hour 1, right, dot text equals to 9, now we are going for, let's say, 99 hours, right? When it reaches to 99 hours, then it has to return, okay, then it has to return the lbl h1 dot text equals to 0, right? Then we say that lbl h2 dot text equals to val, then we say lbl h2 dot text, which will be plus 1. So now we have this here, right? What we are trying to say here is when this reaches to 9 and this reaches to 9, which means 99 hours, you can record up to 99 hours. So when you are creating an executable file, you can restrict this as the other softwares does. If you record up to, let's say, 30 seconds, if you are using a trial version, it's gonna cut. You can do that from here. But let's see if it turns to 99, which is you've recorded up to 99 hours, then we will say else if lbl hour 2 dot text equals to 9, which means you've recorded up to 99, then we just have to say that a message box should pop up, and this message box is going to tell us that it may be maximum time exceeded, right? Just like that. And we just have to say that the message box style should be information. So the message box style dot information, then we just have to say that the heading should be attention, just like that. And after that, we are good to go. So we have this code here, and that is gonna help us to get this guy working. So you can take a time to get all these working, and that is gonna be awesome. It's gonna take our time to give out a shot, then it's gonna be awesome. Guys, if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do well to subscribe to Ikesoft Originals official channel so that you won't be missing any episode concerning this, and I believe you won't be missing any episode as well. So as you can see, the minute is recording, and you can see that we've gotten 30 seconds now, and I want us to record for us to see if when we reaches to 1 minute, it's gonna pop up for us to get a 1 minute out there, and that is gonna be awesome. Guys, you have to take a good look at the software clearly, because we're gonna record the whole thing, and that is gonna be working absolutely perfect. So with no further ado, you can see that we have 58, 59, 60, then it turns back to 1, right? Good. So we have this working all right, and I love it, but you can see that it doesn't have any restriction for the record. So let's do that restriction for now. So for this record, we just have to copy this statement here, right? So just copy this statement, and with the record, we just have to paste this here, right? So we are declaring close, the same close as a message. Are you sure you want to let's call this start recording? Good. Then if it is yes, then we will say that if so we will say that if VB yes, then we will just say that the counter should start. right? Else it won't do anything, right? So let's try that one out and see. So we have this. When I click on this, it's gonna first ask me, do I want to start? When I say no, it's not gonna do anything, but when I say yes, it's just gonna start the whole thing, and that is gonna work absolutely perfect. Good. So I believe we could end here, and my name still remains Ikesoft Original, and this is the Ikesoft Screen Recorder HD Pro series we are working on. On our next lesson, we're going to see how we can work out with the stop button, so that it's just going to stop the whole thing, and we work out with a hide and show, and that is also going to be awesome and very, very interesting. Until we meet again on our next lesson, have a nice day. But before you leave, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. If you don't understand anything, leave the comment below the section, and Ikesoft the Original is gonna read out for you. Have a nice day, and I'm out.